Hi community. So today we will see how to take two responsibility at a time. So we will take an example of QA and DevOps. So that is actually our channel is also based on these profile basically. So we will take two responsibilities in terms of QA and DevOps. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So suppose you are QA. Okay. So let me choose this. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So suppose you are QA, okay, and you want to move to DevOps, okay. So suppose you have been QA from last 5 years, right? So what will be the approach basically to move towards DevOps, right? So of course, while doing the QA, you might have gone through some things of regarding the deployment. Maybe it will be on Jenkins, maybe it will be on Gitlab, or maybe it will be on your GitHub Actions or something like AWS code pipeline and all those deployments from the AWS. Okay, so there will be something you might have gone through. You might have came through the pipeline, how it is triggering, how you are manually triggering, or DevOps ask you to trigger, or maybe they are triggering, and some problem happens. They might ask you to come over the meetings and all, right? Now, there will be counters, and you will be come through a lot of pipeline problems or the deployment problems. A lot of time you will have an issue with the down your queue environment might be down, and you will be getting some 404 whatever. There will be a number of issues, right, while the deployment whenever in queue environment or the dev environment, right? So suppose you have been into QA like since long, and so the approach towards the DevOps is firstly start. First point I would say start understanding your company process of deployment. Company process of deployment. Company in the sense how your environments are getting deployed. There could be different teams, maybe they are using different approaches, but company process means you have to understand how your environments are getting deployed. So what will be the steps to get this? Basically the steps are nothing. Firstly, you have to make up your mind to understand like how will you understand how the environments are getting deployed. Okay, so you have to mingle, or you have to sync with your DevOps team, right? You have to mingle with your DevOps team. Mingle with your DevOps team means whenever there will be issue, you go there, you ask them what is happening, what happens, or why this issue has occurred, and DevOps will give you some reason. As an example, suppose there is a 404, leave it 404. There is like 502 error, some issue from the server side, right? So you had gone to DevOps team and you asked him, hey, what is happening? So now DevOps is fixing. He's saying, okay, give me 5 minutes. There is an issue in deployments and we are rolling back. Okay. So then some key points triggered in your brain, like what is rolling back or something. So then you ask him what is rolling back or something. He'll say, I don't have time for now. I'll let you know later. So next thing is, once you mingle with them, try to understand the issues, and then you show the interest, and then they will understand. Yeah, okay. This guy needs more information towards DevOps. So probably they will give you. If not, you may have to ask your lead or the manager. So get some amount of KT towards the DevOps process. So you will understand and you can manage your QA environment and all. In that say, like you can say like that, and then you can get some KT towards that, right? So like schedule some weekly meeting or some daily meetings to understand some process, right? So that is one thing. Fourth is what all the things they are using. So whenever you will have the meetings or the KT sessions with DevOps, then you will come to know, okay, what all tool you are using, right? So in general DevOps tools like Docker, if they are using some cloud of AWS cloud, or Then if they are using any orchestration tool like K-test, Kubernetes or anything else, and any configuration tool of Ansible. So while getting the KTs from DevOps overview or whatever they will give, in that terms you will come to know what all those things are, right? What all the tools they are using. Then you will go and learn the Docker, right? So then you have to learn the Docker if they are using it. If they are using the AWS, then you have to go and learn the AWS. You have to learn the Docker. Uh, you have to learn the Kubernetes. One second. Okay, you have to learn the Kubernetes and Ansible. So whatever the tool they are using, I'm just taking an example. There could be different tools they might be using. And before that, also the pipeline like they are using something called Jenkins, or they are using something called Gitlab or AWS code pipeline, whatever they are using. So you just have to go and understand this also. So firstly, like what they are using, like they are using Jenkins, you learn Jenkins, then you go to then you have to go to Docker, then AWS, then Kubernetes, then Ansible, then whatever the tool they are using. So this will be the one ideal approach of moving towards DevOps inside the company, right? So suppose you have learned from here, and now suppose you have given 6 months. Okay, so 6 months to learn all these tools. Okay, whatever the tool you have, and then now then you started taking ownership of your QA environment and dev environment of deployment, right? So then you can have your own task and you can convince your manager. So now I can take the DevOps task because you know the internally how DevOps is deploying, and you also know which environment and how needs to be deployed. So you can have your own tickets in Jira or in the sprints, and there you can have the deployments, and whenever like some critical issue happens that you may not be able to resolve, at that time DevOps team will help you, right? So that is the way to move towards from QA to DevOps. So that is the important thing. These are just example I'm just saying about the tool. There could be programming language as well like Python, right? And there could be also like shell and whatever needed as per the company at least. So you can slowly move towards DevOps, and from this partial ownership, slowly you can move towards the DevOps inside your company itself to full ownership. But the only thing is you also have to done the QA things also should get done, then only you will get the extra responsibility towards DevOps, right? Because suppose there are just suppose here, yeah. So suppose there are just 3 resources and you are completely into DevOps, right? And then your QA sprint itself are not getting completed. So then like no lead, no manager will allow you to go towards that. So this is basically once like you are okay and you can do your QA responsibilities on time, then you can move towards DevOps slowly. So that is inside the company you can move towards the DevOps, and basically once you are able to do that, of course you can go outside and then you can make a CV of saying that yeah, I have done the DevOps. I have done the DevOps from like out of 5 years. Out of 5 years, we will take this as 6. Out of 6 years, 4 years I have done the QA work and 2 years also in DevOps, right? And you know the tool, you know the technologies and everything. So slowly there will be a better chances you can move towards the DevOps, right? So I think this is the better approach instead of directly learning everything and then making a CV. So because from here you can have some projects you can do by your own apart from office stuff. So it will be better. But apart from this, if you are directly learning and then making a CV and going outside without real time experience, it will be really tough in DevOps, I guess. So this is, I guess, as per me, this is the ideal approach to go towards. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.